This is Eastmans Elevated podcast. I have on great guests that are really knowledgeable, consistently successful. We're able to dive deep down the rabbit holes of these different subject matters of shooting, of physical fitness, of mental toughness and drive. All the different skills that make up a complete hunter that you can become.
Here's your host, Brian Barney.
Hey, what's happening, guys? I got a brand new podcast for you. So this is from back at the ATA show. I sat down with Mark Hayes from Mathews, and Dan Pickar also sits in on the conversation, and he really helped me out throughout this ATA show as I would have him sit in on the podcast, and he's just such a diehard bow hunter that he adds to the conversation, and he's got a unique perspective on things. And I had so many great conversations with Dan. We get together and it's just one podcast for the whole trip, as we kind of do things differently. We have a lot of similarities, but we also have some differences. But it was just really fun to have Dan sit in on the conversation. All three of us, including Mark, is just bow fanatics. And so to sit down, to look over the new bow, the new components, some of the new technologies that they put into it. We talk about the vibration, the sound, and it's just good to dive deep into these bows and see, why they're designing it and what the purpose is for it. Really like the handle on it. They came out with a new handle design. But we just get into it and get talking about it. Then we talk to Mark about his season a little bit, and just a really fun conversation. This podcast is brought to you by Mathews. I'm really proud to have Mathews on. They came on 2019, sponsored the podcast, and I'm just so impressed with the bows they're building. They are truly the best bows on the market, and I'm so impressed by this new Verdicts. I'm shooting it this season. I told you guys to watch out that there's going to be some critters hit the deck with this thing. I've already in less than a month built an incredible relationship with this bow. It's just a shooter. And so I'm just getting back from Arizona, and I got, one long shot at a coos deer towards the end of the hunt and just put an absolute perfect shot on him. He didn't go 50 yards. It was a perfect double lung shot, but bows just shooting. Those coos are such small targets. I'm just so impressed at the groups I'm able to shoot with this bow. I'm so impressed at how quiet it is, how forgiving it is, how good it holds on target. If you guys are in the market for a new bow, make sure that you check out the Mathews and shoot them. God, the draw cycle is smooth on. I just can't say enough good things about those bows. So thanks to Mathews for coming on and sponsoring the podcast for 2019. We're really happy to have them. And with that, just getting back from this Arizona hunt, what a trip. Man, oh man. I just love these adventures. I am so fortunate to be able to go to these different places, different habitats, and improve my skill set as a bow hunter. I just had a blast. I soaked in some good sunshine, able to harvest a mature buck in the end. I got some great close encounters, and just saw some absolute world-class coos. It was just such an awesome trip. So drove the 24 hours all yesterday, started yesterday early in the morning, got home late. So just kind of recovering this morning, making sure I'm getting out a podcast to you guys. But just keep kind of replaying this hunt in my head. Man, oh man, it just makes me want to work hard and plan some great adventures for 2019, and just makes you feel alive, gives you perspective on your life. Come back and you want to be better at work and better husband and better father, and I'm just so fortunate that my family supports my hobby or my passion. I guess it's not really a hobby at this point when it takes over your life, but I just absolutely love it with every fiber in my being, and that Arizona hunt, I'll do that for the rest of my life. And I have fallen in love with hunting these coos deer. They don't get the respect they deserve. They are one of the hardest, if not the hardest animal in North America to kill with your bow. They're just so wily, so switched on, perfectly adapted to that desert habitat. And so I'm really proud to start out 2019 and be able to bring a buck home. But let's get this thing rolling, man. These Mathews bows are just shooters, really interesting podcast, and just a great conversation. So this is Matt Hayes. It's Dan Pickar's on here, and me, your host, Brian Barney, Eastmans Elevated. Here we go.
Okay, I'm live here at the ATA. I got my buddy Dan Pickar with me, and then we're fortunate to be able to sit down with Mathews and breakaway Mark from the show. Man, you've been busy here.
We've been busy. It's been good. We're running shooting lanes, and we got big booth, and people been in and out, and it's been a good show.
Yeah,
even despite the weather today. So
yeah, for sure. So Mark, maybe you can just introduce yourself for us and what you do there at Mathews.
Sure. So I'm a design engineer at Mathews, part of our engineering team. We got a great team there at the plant. We're kind of support for Matt, who's the genius behind a lot of it, and we get to work on the stuff we actually use. So a lot of heart and soul goes into it, and we have, like I said, a great team.
Yeah, well, you were saying we were talking about the quiver there, and we thought it was so funny that you said you designed this two-piece quiver that you launched with this year's 2019 bows.
Yep.
And you said, yeah, I designed this quiver for myself.
Yeah, we're talking about liking to have arrows, and I never take my quiver off. I just wanted a really light, super strong quiver, and that's kind of where this came from.
Yeah,
some other
absolutely.
people wanted it too, sounds like. So
yep. Sorry about that, guys. I had it on stereo. The buttons get pushed when I'm taking all this. The mobile recording is a challenge in itself, because you've got to carry all this gear with you and then be able to set up everywhere and record.
Well, you set up quick.
Yeah,
you're doing good.
Yeah. We've got our system dialed now. So yeah, no, it's a really fun platform to be able to get hunters on and to be able to get designers like you on, or engineers like you on.
Absolutely,
it's just great. But yeah, we are so impressed with the 2019 bows, aren't we, Dan?
Yes. I've liked Mathews, forever, but as I said earlier, the Halon changed my life and how the bow shoots and how easy it tunes and how simple the bow is, how simple the platform is, and how stable it is. And it just gets better and better, and it's a dream to shoot these bows.
Well, thank you.
And
yeah, we were able to pack a lot of cool features into 2019, stuff we've thought about and wanted to do, and the Verdicts and the Traverse, TX5 were great platforms to introduce that stuff.
Mm-hmm. Oh, man, I am in love with that Verdict. So I get home and maybe have dinner with my family, and then I'm off 24 hours down to Arizona and taking that Verdicts. I got that thing dialed in, man.
That's awesome.
Yeah. It was such a easy, flawless transition. The Triax was such a great shooter. I love that bow, and it was so quiet, so forgiving. And then the Verdicts, it's just a longer version of that Triax, or at least they feel the same.
Yep.
And like Dan was saying, the Halons were great bows, and the feel just never changed from those bows. You guys just kept making slight improvements, and the evolutions of the bows just keeps going. But they're such precise shooting bows, man. We love them.
Yeah, I like you said that obviously similar to a Triax, but Triax won a bunch of awards last year for vibration and stealth. That was our key focus on that bow. We go into 2019 product line year saying we got to beat that. We beat everybody in the 2018 tests that we ran. We challenged ourselves, and Matt is a testament to just wanting to beat himself. And so the Verdicts is now 20% less vibration, is quieter than the Triax, which was award-winning. And bow alone, that was our focus. And then again, we got to pack in some new features that I think the hunter and definitely the dealers are going to like as well. So,
man, that is amazing. Beat all the bows of 2018. Did you say 20% better with this year's bow?
That's right, and the vibration test that we run.
Wow.
Yeah.
And the vibration test has to relate directly to sound, too, I would think, huh?
It does, yeah. It's a little bit different, but this bow is definitely quieter than the Triax. There's some debate on how to test sounds, but the way we have done it is definitely quieter, and I think it's so much so that a guy that can shoot it side by side in a shop will notice it too.
Yeah. No, I believe it. So how it's probably a decibel is how you measure the.
Yep, there's just a lot about the environment, where the microphone is. That sound data is something that we don't like to publish because someone could not duplicate it possibly.
Yes.
A vibration test that we run is something that can be duplicated, and we're seeing now other people starting to do that test as well. So,
but yeah, probably it makes a difference which room you're recording in and how the sound bounces off the wall. So
exactly.
Like you say, you can't duplicate it.
Yeah, they call it anechoic chambers, basically no echo. They got a bunch of soundproof, which you guys would know with recording and stuff, but it's tough with the directional mics and just the distances. So someday there will be good standards for bow sound testing. We can draw on some other industries for that, but for now, we kind of keep those sound numbers to ourselves, and we just strive to make the difference between last year's and the new bow enough that someone could actually hear it.
Yep.
Because it doesn't really matter if it's so small that no one can really know.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, you guys are really paying attention to all the details moving forward, which I like. And you guys are in the accessories, so it comes with a QAD rest. I love that it mounts right to the slide of the bow, so you're not relying upon an Allen screw to hold your rest in anymore.
Exactly.
Because cables get tight, things pull, things can get snagged, and if it pulls that rest off that axis, it's held by one screw.
Exactly.
Like it throws your whole bow off.
Yeah.
So to have that slide rail like that it mounts to, I think that's a really cool feature.
Yeah, so QAD brought this idea to us, and it was a lot to bring to market. There's a lot of details that went into this development of this rest, but at the end of the day, it made it a better rest. Like you said, that is a big bolt that goes through that burger button hole. And to like someone that would look at it, that looks super robust. But like you said, the weakness of it is it can spin on that bolt axis.
Yes.
That's the issue. So even with what looks like a smaller rest, it's quite a bit more robust, more stable, and more consistent. There's other things that QAD did that's really neat. That's a aluminum machine launcher, not a plastic arm anymore.
Yep.
Just, again, to the quality and the durability of the product. It's really cool. If you step back, just from the technology, it's the slimmest and the smallest micro-adjust rest that there's ever been. So just from that standpoint, it's a big improvement, lighter and definitely more streamlined.
Yeah, that's huge for me. Not that you'll ever have an issue with your arrows contacting, the old QADs, but how streamlined it is now and how small it is. I mean, cutting the weight, it's so minute, but still.
Yep.
It's a huge improvement.
Yeah, well, it lets you get that, like you say, your quiver and your arrows on your quiver more centered over that bow or closer to your bow to bring that weight in.
And that's a factor I've had in the past, too, with really tight quivers, is, you'll hit the end of your rest.
Yeah.
It happens. And so just gives you the next level of clearance. I don't know if you could get a quiver any tighter than this. but yeah, that's what you want, though, is everything just linear, compact.
Yeah, and it never bothered us because it's always been a burger button deal. But now, when you look at this and you see a big mounting block on the side, it's kind of like it's starting to. This is how it should be.
Yep.
There's big mounting blocks that kind of look big and out of place, as we've been staring at this one for a while now.
Yep.
Well, it's just always been the standard too, and so like nobody's ever really redesigned it or tried to do anything with it, and it's really cool that you guys are thinking outside the box and that you guys are changing that to mount on that backslide. I think that's really neat.
Yeah.
Yep.
It was good to work with QAD on that. They're a great company and make a great product.
For sure.
Yep, absolutely. Well, and now the new accessories, I really like the sidebar attachment. Nobody used to ever hunt with sidebars.
Yep.
And I made a false claim earlier that I was the first one, and that's not true. But, in the hunting world, you just never saw any pictures of anybody shooting sidebars.
It's exploded.
So to have this high country muley guy that then has all this weight on his bow, it was really strange. But, for me, it's my moneymaker. Every successful hunt comes down to making a shot.
Yep.
And so, I want my bow to be the most forgiving, best holding bow I can make. And if I've got to pack around an extra pound on my bow, I'll do it just to have it shoot right.
Absolutely.
And so you guys came out with a new sidebar attachment. And the sidebar, that's the other thing that I really like about your bows is that you can add weight to the back of the bow there. You have a screw hole in the back.
Yep.
So I can actually add weight to 3 different places on my bow with the sidebar, front bar, and then that back hole.
Yep, correct. Yeah, we have a rear stabilizer bushing just like on our target bows. Last year we had what we called a static sidebar mount. It was static. It did not move, but it allowed someone to shoot a back bar in a traditional spot. However, this year what you're talking about, we got it in front of us. It's the new Shrewd Mathews edition movable sidebar mount, and it's made for the longest and heaviest target stabilizers but it's small enough and compact enough to be on a hunting bow. And we're really excited about that. Now you can actually just refine exactly where you want that weight. Like you said, you run at a sidebar before it was popular, and that's just because probably your muscles, how your bones line up. You needed that weight off low and off the side, and you probably put weights on the back. More and more people are starting to understand that. Target guys have been doing it for years, and that benefit is now being able to put into a hunting bow. Like you said, you got to make one shot. So anything you can do that might help some people to help them out.
Absolutely. Well, and I notice it helps with the hold, the balance of the bow. I also I can mess with the reaction of the bow. You know, if my arrows are dropping out the bottom of the target, you know, I can add more weight in the back or take some weight from the front, and vice versa. Or if I'm getting left hits, I can slide it out a little bit more, and so you can kind of affect the reaction of the bow by that stabilizer.
Absolutely. It's funny you say that because target guys, that's exactly what they're doing constantly. They're adding third of ounces and 1 ounce to the back and making huge differences when you're shooting a dime at 20 yards in Vegas or you're shooting 3D targets. And it's cool to see the hunting public starting to realize that and play with that and realize that, hey, you know, the old thought that I'm just a hunter, I don't need the most accurate thing that these target guys are doing is not true anymore. We're building bows with the same technology from our target line into these hunting bows, and you should be able to do stabilizers and weights and whatever that they're doing for the target line is going to benefit you in the field.
Yep, absolutely.
Well, and some of the other details that I really like are the strings that you were putting on it. Like I used to get my bows, and I'd wait to even shoot them until my new string got there in the mail. So I'd tear the bow all apart, put on a new string, and then that was my string for the year. Just because the strings would move so much, you know, and your peep would rotate, and that also affects, you know, your dope on your yardage, you know, when those strings are moving. But the strings you guys are putting on these bows now, they're good to go. I get that bow and it's ready to shoot, and it never moves on me.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, we've invested heavily in our factory strings. There is a false narrative around there that factory strings aren't as good as a custom-made string, and it is false because we designed the bow with these strings on it. So you can affect the vibration, you can affect the speed, you can affect the tune just with a pair of strings that aren't built to our specs. And you can't guarantee wherever you're getting those custom strings that they're going to hit our specs. But with that, I mean, we got to make great strings. So, like I said, a few years back, we invested heavily into our processing, testing that process, and we truly believe that we're building a string that's as quality as anything you could buy. And we're happy to have a bunch of colors too. We got a bow builder on our website that you can get all those custom colors that you can from any other string manufacturer, and they can be built on your bow when you order it. So.
Yeah, you can customize it,
Yep.
which is really cool for guys.
Yep.
Yeah, everybody wants to be an individual or likes their colors, you know.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, no, it's nice to customize it for sure. Yeah, I'm really impressed. Yeah, we're shooting I'm shooting the Verdicts this year. I really like the Verdicts, and then the one I'm really interested in that you're going to get, Dan, is the Traverse. And so the Verdicts is a 6-inch brace. What's the axle to axle on? Is it
That's
30?
a 30-inch, yeah.
30-inch?
Verdicts.
Yep. And then the Traverse is a little bit longer?
It is. It's a 33-inch axle to axle. It's got 6 5/8 brace height.
Oh, okay.
So a little bit longer brace height. And it goes out to 32.5 draw length, which is something that we haven't had in a few years since the 32. We had a 7-inch 32 that went out that far. We wanted to give a modern long draw option as well. You'll notice on the Traverse, it's got the 3D damping like the Triax, so it's got better vibration, handling. It's got the new engaged grip. It also has the dovetail just like the Verdict. So it's becoming a bow that actually is getting better reviews than we even thought it might. It's hard to judge when you have two bows that are could both be flagship bows, which one will do better, and we put a lot of focus on the Verdicts. We're very pleased with the Verdicts, but the Traverse is kind of a niche bow that has done super good. It holds very well, and we're even, we're making in target colors. We think people are going to shoot this on the 3D lines for some tournament stuff.
Yeah, no, I'm excited for both, and I'm going to get Traverse and the Vertix, but I'm looking forward to shooting them side by side as much as I can, and enjoying the experience and whatever works better for me, I'll take it to the field, and it'll probably be both of them.
Yeah.
But that's the beauty of it too. And as archers, is we can nitpick and we can fine tune all down to the nitty gritty, and that's the beauty of it too. That's what we enjoy so much.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. So. Well, another feature that I really like of this new Verdicts is your guys' new grip on there.
Yeah, so this is something pretty cool. It's kind of a big plunge for us in our 26-year history. We never changed the grip interface. We've had different grips, but to change that whole system was kind of something that we scrutinized and we picked apart, because we were not going to launch something that could possibly not be perfect. And we nitpicked everything. I mean, down to it's hard to see, but if you ever pick one up on the thumb relief, we even made this super complex machining path just to give your thumb clearance. We have a nice sloped end on the index finger, so guys with side weight, your arm's going to naturally turn up and into the bow. We gave you clearance for there, and with a deeper throat. So with that deeper throat, normally you're getting pinched on your hand, stuff's being forced down. This thing was built so your hand can fit perfectly every time and reduce torque and be more consistent in that throat. We wanted a grip that you put your hand in, not on.
Yep.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I can tell how much work you guys have put in it, but it fits really well. And I like I like how it sticks to my hand too, the surface of the grip.
There's a new texture on the back.
Yeah, it seems to really hold into my grip,
yep.
so my hand won't slide around if it's sweaty or hot or cold or different. It hits the same place every time, which I think is really important.
Yeah, and we're excited too. The Engage grip is actually a system, and we launched here at the show. We have a bow in front of us with them on the side plate option, so a user can now take his grip off and put side plates on, which is going to give you a thinner feel, a nice flat back, but we machined all the radiuses and everything, so it's going to feel super comfortable to shoot it off the riser, but with side plates that still have the thumb relief, still have that angle for your finger, but just another option to customize your bow for the feel that you want.
Yeah. I'm looking forward to playing with that.
Yeah,
that
me
grip.
too,
Yeah.
for sure.
Yep.
We got somebody joining in the podcast here at the ATA.
Intercom.
Yeah,
Trying to butt in.
It's busy here this year. It seems good in the booth. You guys are swamped here.
Yeah, definitely. We've had a constant flow through the shooting lanes. We got a bunch of bows for people to shoot, and we launched a price point bow that we're pretty excited about, so people have seen that for the first time, getting to shoot it. And our booth is kind of sprawled out this year, really nice, so we kind of have a good flow of people through, and yeah, we're pretty pleased with how the show went for us this year.
What do you guys call that new bow?
That's the Tactic. It's a 849 MSRP bow. It's a Mathews bow with Mathews technology, and I think it's just it's a good bow for someone that's wanting like AVS technology and a two-cam bow with really nice solid limbs. It's got the top hat system with 0T axles, super easy to tune, in a package that is pretty budget friendly for a Mathews.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah, and then we were also, me and Dan just walked over and shot the 5-inch brace as well, which was like probably a speed bow for you guys, or a performance bow, is that right?
Yeah, it is. So that's the TX5. It's built on a Tri-X frame. So it's a 28-inch bow, just like the Tri-X was, but a 5-inch brace height. And it's got the new features like the Engage grip and the dovetail for the integrate rest. It's definitely a bow built for performance. 5-inch brace height in the past has gotten a bad rap for being very tough to shoot. And we manufactured this thing to be the best shooting 5-inch brace height that there's ever been. The days are gone of 5-inch brace heights hitting your wrist and being super easy to torque and all that stuff. So we're excited about that, and it goes down to lower draw lengths where guys or gals might need a little bit more energy, and they're willing to give up a little bit of brace height to get that. And it's a smoker. It's over 350 feet per second.
Yeah.
And it's a good shooter with the same technology as all of our flagship bows have had.
Yep.
So.
Man, that's cool. Looking out for us short draw archers. Like, gosh dang it. I'm small as it is, but then I got short arms.
Right.
I'm shooting a 26 and a half. I need everything I can get.
Everything you can get. Yeah, that's right. It might be one you want to look at.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, that's awesome. Well, yeah, you guys are sure producing good bows. So where are you located at? Yeah, you do some good hunting this season?
I did. So, yeah, we're up in Wisconsin, obviously Midwest whitetail country. And it's funny, I always go out west in September, but I had the birth of my second child, my son, in September 9th.
Congratulations.
Thank you, yeah. So, but I usually go to Nebraska for muleys and antelope September 1st through the 10th. So, like, he was born right in the middle of that. So, but it gave me a great opportunity to focus strictly on whitetail this year, and I was really excited to try to find and hunt a very mature whitetail. And my goal was, I got a buddy, Drew, in Illinois. He's got a great place down there, and my plan was to kill a warm-up buck in Wisconsin and then go down there and hunt the land of giants. And I had a great season. I ended up killing a mature buck on a piece of land like 3 minutes from the house in Wisconsin, 5-year-old buck, and I was
good for you.
Nice.
Pretty excited about that. That whole thing came together super fast, and I was able to really concentrate on learning whitetails. And I had to stay close to the house because of the kids. I got 2 kids now and a wife at home, and I couldn't be driving, all these places. So
Yep.
It was a great thing because, we marketed this thing called Proving Ground this year, and it's something we've done for a long time, but we're finally talking about it. So it's our goal, obviously, to get time in the field, and, we love it, obviously. It's what we live for, but we got these prototype bows in September, so we've been shooting them and hunting with them, and so October 11th is when I killed my buck, but it was everything I could do to just get some experience in the field while staying close to home for this year with the kiddo. So, but I ended up getting it done. I was super pleased and got to go spend some time in Illinois and had the best whitetail sits of my life with my buddy Drew down there. And I passed my best buck ever 12 different times, just,
Oh, wow.
It's unbelievable down there, and actually got on a giant, and, as things happen, just couldn't get it done right at the last second. But it was a great sit and great season for me to just concentrate on one species, which is tough to do. Like I said, I would always spread out my hunts and everything, but it was cool to this year because of the birth of my son to just concentrate on one species. And I think I grew so much as a whitetail hunter just knowing that that's the only thing I was doing this year.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, and every species and every habitat improves your skill set in a different way, and a whitetail is a thinking man's game.
It is.
Those things are wily, like they live in such small square footage, but they get so good at living there that they never get seen and never get shot, and can grow to maturity to, like you said, 5-year-old buck you shot.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's crazy, man.
Yeah.
Those things get wily.
Yeah.
So yeah, there's a reason why whitetail are the most popular animals, across the nation.
You're right.
Because they're fun to hunt and they're tough to hunt, and
They are.
all of us as bow hunters love to embrace the challenge.
Yeah, and as much as you think you learn them, they're learning you.
Oh, yeah.
And, I mean, staying on top of them is the biggest key this year. I didn't sit the same tree once this year in Wisconsin. I was running and gunning, and, man, it was fun, and I saw the most deer I've ever seen doing that. And it's always that first sit success, and I kind of I put my stand on my back this year, and it was a goal that I wasn't going to sit the same tree because they know when you're in there, and they know what tree it is, and it worked out.
Oh, that's
good.
cool. So
Wow.
you're picking a different tree every time, and so you've got like a climber stand you use?
No, I got a custom built like a lone wolf system and some steps, and I fitted on my Mystery Ranch pack that I take out west. That frame will pop off, and I built clips on my stand, so it literally clips to that frame that I got from my Pintler. And so I ran that all year. It was awesome. So I was hanging and hunting every time. And I'm telling you what, that's pretty fun. And I love going out west. The West has captivated me, but it was fun to do that here and still put on my pack and get stuff done. So,
well, and it's we love to travel and we love to have these adventures, but the truth is you get busy, we have to pay bills, we have new kids, you have things that come up. But I think it's really important, no matter who you are or what means you have, to enjoy what's right around you, right in your backyard, no matter where you live. And I'm really fortunate. I live in a great valley in Montana where I have tons of stuff. I can hunt, I can fish, I can trail run, I can enjoy all these things, but I just can't can't think about the next adventure when I get to take a week off and go. Like, I got to be enjoying things all the time, every weekend day, every evening day. And I just think that's such a good lesson for guys, no matter where you live. You know, I grew up in the Pacific Northwest where you're fishing and hunting blacktails and Roosevelts, and you just have to enjoy what's around you. If you're in the South, maybe you're hunting hogs, or you're in Wisconsin, you're hunting whitetails, and you can go hunt whitetails, and then you can be back. You know, we all love to hunt, but you also have to be a good father and a good husband. And so you can kind of mix and match all of those and make everybody happy, including yourself, and finding your serenity and the excitement and that action. And it sounds like that's what you did this year.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, and I have, you know, work stuff do too. So we're part of the, you know, what we said, we market the proving ground. And, you know, we want to, but have to get time in the field with this thing too, and make sure it's performing the way. So it was a balance of all that stuff. But, you know, where I killed my buck, I drove by every single day on my way to work and never thought of it as a spot that I could hunt. And, you know, stuff like that, just opening your eyes to things when you have to. It's interesting how things get done like that.
Yeah.
Something you overlook.
Tell that wife, I got to get out in the stand.
That's right.
It's work.
Exactly.
That's my excuse, too. I think it is.
Another day at the office, boys.
She's given up on that. She has given up on that. She knows when it hits.
She knows better, huh? Yeah, that's really cool. Well, yeah, us at Eastmans, we just really appreciate the relationship. We really appreciate you. I appreciate you, being part of the podcast this season coming on 2019. You guys are just building bows that are the absolute top of the heap, best shooting, most forgiving bows. And us, I know Dan and I are just bow guys, and we're just in love with the new bows and in love with that new Verdicts, man. That thing is a shooter.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, we're very pleased with our relationship with you guys and everything you do and the people you produce for and everything. And it's been a great partnership. We're excited that you like the bows because, we are all hunters, like you said, sitting around this table, and it's a team of engineers and marketers and just a whole company of passionate archers.
Yep.
And I think that really comes out in our products and stuff we are building, we actually use. We're happy you guys are seeing the same thing. So
yeah, man. Yeah, pleasure to meet you. Thanks again for taking the time. I know you're super busy here in the booth, so we appreciate it, man. And we'll keep in touch and talk soon.
Absolutely. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Mark. Appreciate it.
All right, guys, that's a wrap. Again, really fun conversation. I know there's a lot of technical talk on these Mathews in there, but Mark did a really good job of explaining some of the new features they put on and why. And again, I'm just so impressed with these bows. They're just shooters. I really liked the Tri-X last year, but this Verdicts, I'd venture to say this bow, I have one of the best relationships I've ever had. I've only had the thing for a month, but man, this thing is just a shooter. It's just pumping in some sweet groups, shooting good at range, really forgiving. It's quiet, and the proof's in the pudding. The first hunt of the year, I get one chance to loose an arrow at a mature coos buck and just put a perfect shot on them. So I've got a lot of trust in this bow. I can't wait for 2019 and see what I turn up. But if you guys are in the market for a new bow, make sure to check out these Mathews, man. These things are just shooting, and so I'm really impressed, and it means the world to me when a company like Mathews steps up and stands behind the podcast and partners up with me, and so I just want to do everything I can for that company as well, and they're building good bows. Like, I'm just really impressed. They've actually got, what is it, a Traverse that Dan's going to try out that's a longer axle to axle. Like, that would be the old bow I'd shoot 5 years ago, just because I like the most forgiving bow I can. I mean, I don't think I can change from this Verdicts. I absolutely love this thing, but I'd like to shoot that Traverse and try it. But they just have, whether you're a short draw archer, long draw archer, whether you like speed bows, whether you like a forgiving bow, different braces all the way from 7-inch to 6-inch to 5-inch. They've got it all. So head into a Mathews dealer and just shoot these bows. I guarantee when you draw back, the draw cycle's so smooth, the back wall sits hard, no movement in it, aim's really good. Like, you shoot these bows, I know you'll fall in love with them like I have. So make sure to check them out, and thanks to Mathews for sponsoring the podcast. So, yeah, really fun to get together with those Eastman guys. God, we just had a riot. I laughed so hard my stomach hurt half the time. That's just good fun. So, yeah, it was a good time getting together with those guys, and then we're going to get together again here for the Sportsman's Expo show. So, really looking forward to that down in Salt Lake. I got to figure out if I probably won't fly. I'll just drive down. 6 hours from my house? As long as I don't have gnarly roads, it won't be bad. Yeah, heck, after just driving 40 hours or 44 or 48 hours down to Arizona and back, I'm pretty used to the truck. It went quick, you know. I was bummed my buddy Dan couldn't come with me. Man, my buddy Dan, he's battling some health issues. He had a problem with his eye, kind of woke up and lost the vision in his right eye. I was really worried about him. I've been checking in with him, but it sounds like he's getting all healed up and getting the vision back in his eye. It's just a weird deal. Just a freak deal, but I think they got it figured out and got him dialed in. But I was sure worried about him and sure missed having him on this hunt. Logan Summers, that the guy that's filmed for me and taken some photographs, he came down for a few days and hung out, hunted by myself for a few days, and then I hooked up with Miguel Morales. You guys heard him on the podcast last year. I got to get him on again. Guy's just amazing. But yeah, we hunted one day. He took a day off work and met me and took me to some of his hot spots there. We found a deer. I ended up killing that good buck in the morning. Good stock, perfect shot. And we got that thing all taken care of, and Miguel wanted me to hang out, have dinner with him and his family there, and I just got to experience the whole culture. You know, he grew up and was raised in Nogales, and you know, Mexican-American family. They're just really great people. His wife's good people, met his kids, met some of his friends. I met his mom and dad. I mean, just great people. But then to stay at his house and have him, you know, share a room with me. I mean, I slept in the dirt most of the trip, but to be able to stay at a house and catch a good shower and kind of clean up and have a good dinner with Miguel and hang out with his family, it was just really neat. It added to the whole experience. And Miguel is a coos master. That guy knows coos deer. He's just grown up and hunted them his entire life, and he's just really proficient with his bow. But he's done something that I don't know anybody else has ever done. So we killed that buck in the morning. Came back, his garage door was broke from the night before, so I helped him fix that. We kind of got it figured out and got it operating again, and it wasn't dinner time yet. And he goes, well, we better go out and go see if we can find another buck. So Miguel still had a tag, and we went out, and sure enough, we located a giant. And I got to watch the master as he made a textbook stock and a good shot and just nailed this buck. And so he killed a 106-inch coos. It's his eighth coos deer over 100 inches with his bow in 8 years. So that guy's got a heck of a streak going, but he's a heck of a bow hunter. And these coos, I talk about them being one of the most difficult animals in North America. They are. And Miguel's harvested different animals, but just his theories and thoughts on bow hunting and spot and stock hunting, they apply to all different kind of hunts. So, I really want to get him back on the podcast. I had him on once, but we just had some great conversations down there. He's just a great guy. I just love this community, and I met Miguel through the podcast. He looked me up last year when I was down there, and so we just kind of kept in touch, and then he checked in with me this year on the hunt, and you know, he's given me a couple spots to check out down there where he's done well. He's just a absolute selfless superhuman being, and it was just really great to be able to share a day. And I've never killed 2 bucks in one day, much less 2 coos deer in one day. Like, I had been hunting 7-8 days, and it just came together for us. I shot my buck in the morning, and then he shot that buck in the afternoon, and it was just a stomper. God, it was fun to take pictures of him during the recovery, and then his field photo harvest, or his harvest photos, and it was just really fun to share in the experience with him, and then to, like I say, to be able to hang out with his family and friends and him, and he's just a diehard bow hunter. He just lives to bow hunt. He's like all of us guys, so much passion running through his veins for bow hunting. And, a lot of the things I've learned about coos, I've learned from Miguel. I ask him a million questions when I'm down there, and really the tactics that I'm using, I've developed from, a lot of his theories and a lot of his knowledge. So I just can't thank that guy enough. And what a fun day to share where we killed 2 bucks. He had been hunting the whole month of January. He'd only got one other stock, and it just came together, that night when we went out. So what an experience, what a hunt. I'm going on way too long. This isn't a solo podcast, so I better wrap this thing up. Again, thanks to Mark Hayes. Really fun to talk to him about Mathews bows, talk to him about his hunting season, meeting those guys. I just can't thank him enough. And seriously, guys, if you're looking for a new bow, make sure you at least go shoot those new Mathews. They're just absolutely unreal. So, all right, that's a wrap. I'll get this podcast out. I'm just barely making it. It's Friday this week, so I'll make sure I won't slack from here on out and make sure I'm getting out my podcast. So we'll get this out to you guys, and then we got just some great ones coming up, and planning on recording some other podcasts. I want to record one with Miguel and get a Coos podcast. I'm going to get Ryan Lampers. We're going to meet up here soon, and he just killed a giant Coos, which is so impressive. His first year hunting them. It's just absolutely amazing. That guy's just a killer. Everything he does and everywhere he goes, so impressive. I get a lot of motivation from what he does, and so yeah, I want to get together with him and talk over his hunt and just keep putting out good content. 2019 is ours, guys. We just got to keep working hard towards our goals. So thanks as always for all the support. Yeah, check in with you next week.